Hello, my name is Steve Holland. I'm a principal with Madland Specialists, a retail and IT consultancy based in New Hampshire, started by our founder, Madeline Kerr. I'm here today to talk to you about your as-is business process. The title of the presentation is Don't Pave the Cow Paths. You know, anybody who has ever been on a farm or been in an agricultural environment knows that paving your cow paths is not a good idea. I've spent over 20 years in the IT and business process areas, developing and implementing cost-effective and practical business processes along with enabling IT capabilities. And I'm planning today to share some of those experiences with you and laying out a process to define or to really understand your as-is process prior to implementing your PLM solution. So with that, I'd like to share with you today's topics. The first thing I want to spend a few minutes on is discussing why the as-is process is important. Too often we jump into projects, implementations of system solutions without having a grounding of the as-is process. Second, I want to share with you some process mapping techniques. I first started learning, back in the business processes re-engineering craze in the early 90s, and I think in the PLM space, some of those those things that we learned back then still apply, and then certainly technology has evolved since then. And then I kind of want to bring it home then and discuss process mapping in the context of PLM. Thought I'd just open it up with a little cartoon here. I'll be happy to give you innovative thinking. What are the guidelines? Certainly we all know that innovative thinking is not something that can be prescriptive. Contrary to maybe the business coaches and the self-help gurus out there kind of opening up your thinking. But hopefully today, we can lay out a process that will actually help the creative juices get going and successfully implement your PLM solution. As I was preparing for this, I was asking myself some questions. If you don't know what you do today, how can you define what you need to do tomorrow? I think other people would say it, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. And so that's really, I think, sets the context. But then I also, I don't profess to be, the expert on PLM or the expert on business processes. So I wanted to kind of go, do a little survey of what, other, quote-unquote gurus have said over the course of time. So I'll share these with you. So hopefully those quotations kind of set the context for this discussion. All right, so why do we discuss the as-is process at the beginning of a project? First and foremost, we want to understand who the process is affecting. The stakeholders that are involved with the process, the stakeholders that have a vested interest in making the process work. It is also an opportunity to get everybody grounded in the expectations of what the as-is process is and what they want it to be going forward, and then how we implement the PLM solution to enable that as-is process. Second thing is doing a PLM project, doing a systems project of any kind, you always have to define your requirements up front. And the business processes are probably the most important aspect of getting it right from the get-go. If you're going out and looking at package software or software as a service solutions, you're going to do vendor demonstrations, and the best way to prepare for those is to build use cases, to put in an RFP, request for proposal, and then also to demonstrate the solution with those vendors. And having a good understanding of your business process makes that process that much more effective. And then throughout the life